Peace, 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 peace. Line understand and born law. You know how we do it. Set this record straight. Ain't you know the free Asiatics dealing with our publications, production, range, all that. Son of Man 7. That's actually the workforce in reality. Right? Original man is God. And so the physical composition is the workforce. The law mathematics, the law alphabet, 120 letters. That's your like foundation, right? Mathematics, alphabet, 120. Then you get your 12 joules when you showing and proving. That's your wages pretty much. Joules, precious joules. There's an earth called precious joule. So anyway, the real shit is you gotta know and understand, right? We want to keep our quotations right and exact. We don't want to forget about that in all our studies and in-depth study of the science of everything in life. We don't want to forget the part that the basic foundations for us to quote the degrees, right? So, quoting the degree is not living out the degree. That's quoting the degree so that you have the degree in your head in case the devil was to take you away from your lessons or your lessons away from you. Either way, he can't really do it because they're inside of your brain, on your convolutions on your brain, and they increase the convolutions on your brain. They increase the convolutions on your brain. That's why Allah wanted you to quote those lessons. He want those convolutions increased. Now, once you increase those convolutions on your brain, the next increase is taking each degree now that you can quote it and doing your research. They be saying reading a book. Well, that's only because most people don't know how to do research outside of reading a book, because the person who wrote the book is supposedly the one who did the research. So when you do that way, when you get a book from someone who did the research, and you have to understand your source. Like, if this person did the research, did they have ulterior motives? Pretty much everybody has ulterior motives, but what were they? Were they to give knowledge of self to the original people? Those are good ulterior motives. Were the ulterior motives to prove their point or their objective? That's different. If their objective is in line with the universe, then it's a good objective. If it's not in line with the universe, then it's not a good objective. You follow me? So we take it to the next level is, wait one sec. Let's do something. Because once you acknowledge the wisdom, right? Well, first, let's just look at the degree itself. And then what I want you to do is, you get you a piece of paper after you look at the degree, right? And once you have that piece of paper, I want you to draw a line down the middle of the piece of paper. And on one side, right. So remember now, we're going to draw the line down the middle, and then we're going to put a T on the top of it, but make it a lowercase letter T. Right, make the line in the middle real long, right? And on one side you're going to put colonizer, all right? And then you're going to put on the other side devil, devilishment, things like that. Whatever you feel like is higher self, lower self for the more. They're going to put higher self, lower self, whatever, all right? And then we're going to go, we're going to do it for the other side. Well, we already did the knowledge one, right? So we at the wisdom one. So anyway, now you did that. Then you draw the line down the middle and the T across. And then you go into the Bible, the Quran. Those are two good sources to figure out what the devil does. And what happened to devils when they did devilishment. And you put those little notes down. I'll give you a for instance. Like you could start off with something devilish meant would be Cain slew Abel. Next one would be so you killed your brother, right? The next one might be murder and mayhem on a war scale. Like you're at war, you do a lot of warring. That's the next hit, right? Narcissistic behavior, control freak, unjust wages, right? Start making your list like that. Go through it like that. You'll see things like that. Slavery, enslavement, prisoner wars, mass murder, concentration camps, gas chamber, capital punishment, mass genocide, murder, rape, mayhem, lamination. All those names go on the side of devil, right? Okay. Now that you have that list, you're going to take that list and put it on your wall. And then you're going to go back to your lessons and you're going to start off back in knowledge again. Because remember, you had the same T for original, lamb's wool, whichever side you picked. Martin turns black, brown, red, yellow. You right there, you put them there. And then you put on the other side if what their devilish meant and what their good is. And on the other one, you're going to do the same thing, what their devilish meant is and what their good is. So you're going to make it even Steven of everything that's been done to planet Earth's population and who did it. Right? Because if you look at the total population of the planet Earth in 1934, right? 4,400,000,000 and 400 million, right? And 103 million. You know those numbers. And so you gonna say to yourself, all right, well, that's the 1 to 10 is giving you that information from the start. It doesn't even wait long to tell you that the population 103 million, 17 million with 2 million Indians, and the Earth 4,400,000,000, right? You get that on the open. So usually unless you was getting it word by word, and then you might have got each degree. But basically, we would get student enrollment. It would be the whole package. Even if you couldn't quote it, yeah, you were saying, all right. So you knew that it was anywhere from 1930 to 1934 that the total population of the planet Earth would have been inside of that degree, right? And the what do I want to say? Like the total population would be inside, and the land, useful land that is being used, and the unuseful land, and it goes all into the sun, moon, stars. So pretty much when you hit the student enrollment, it's actually a complete package in itself. The other part is telling you where the wisdom myself degrees, where the wisdom myself divine cipher master degree came from. Like, how did that manifest itself? From its beginning, 8,400, you get that one, you get 8,667, and the other one's 8,367, like that. And then the year 8,400, right? And then 150 years, you get the 150 years, and so you get 150 years, and then the manifestation, the 600-year manifestation itself, or the 600-year process, right? The 600-year process and the 6,000-year rule, and the end of the civilization. The two people you see in the beginning of the end is WD and Noble Drew. That's who you see, right? The two figures, and Marcus, right? You see Marcus, you see WD, and you see Noble Drew. And when we looking now back in time, and so from that point you're going, well, you're traveling then, because then the organizing of the original man, woman, and child starts to take place. And so you keep looking back at that thing on the book, that T on the board, right? Those 4 T's on the board. Because truth come in a square anyway, so that came out right and exact. I mean, you could say people are a cube, because they got front, back, top, bottom, left, right. But then again, they also got in and out. So depth, right? So, all right, we're going back to the point now. So now we got that out of the way. That's going. You know what to do with that. You're gonna do that later. You're gonna do that. As you going through the degree, we're gonna go there. So now we going back to wisdom God, right? So once we see the science behind wisdom God, it's almost like you see that whole page. It'll go wisdom power, wisdom equality, wisdom God, wisdom build, wisdom born. You should see it in your head that way, right? The whole page in your head. And that'll give you like a complete package for that degree. That those degrees are on that page for that page. That degree called that page. You see what I'm saying? Like we would have said something like this. Because you learning how to quote, you need to compartmentalize it and put it in file system in your mind. So each page, so that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages. Right? 7 pages that some people might have not had 7. That could happen too. I don't want to quantify it, but you'll count yours. There's 7 in mine. 7 pages for the 1 to 40. And then you would have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages for the 1 to 14, and 1 page for the 1 to 36, and 1 page for the 1 to 10, right? Even if you go to mathematics is usually on 1 page. 12 Jews is usually on 1 page, and you might have 3 pages for alphabets, or it could be 1 page, or it could be 2 pages. Just depends on. But you're gonna count yours up like that, so that when you're absorbing it in your head for quotation, you're gonna try to flash it in your head as a page, as what page it is. See, now you compartmentalizing it. Once you get it down to page, when you got it in your head, pages, and then you got sections in the page, like we used to quote first, that first part on the right side, right? All praises due, right? Lord of all the worlds, right? But we wasn't talking about that mystery, all in all. We wasn't talking about that one. We was showing and proving I yourself, self is the true reality, Son of Man, God, right? That's what we was going with. Because we knew that 1 divided into any number evenly. Right? 360 degrees, it goes into it 360 times. Doesn't matter. No matter how many people it is, 1 can go in it evenly. Or however many it is. That's that way that works, see? The power of 1. That's why they'll be afraid. Yeah, see, the power of one, it can just manifest itself at a high number immediately, no matter how many people, if you divide it into it. See? Two can't do that. Only one can do that. Go into any number evenly. And one and zeros can work in a way that no other numbers can work with. Ones and zeros. They can do things that, because they together, 1 and 0 are together. There could be 360 negative or positive. One can still go in it and come out right and exact, because it's one. Everything is dependent on one. The one, because it says the universe is mental inside of the mind of the all in all. That kills it right there. That kills it. As above, so below. As below, so above. That kills it again. You see what I'm saying? How you just keep killing it as you traveling through, and you didn't even leave the 1 to 10. The first degree is really complete. It's just that we're so incomplete in our brain, and so many pins and thoughts and from the crazy ass society we live in right now, that the society and the government and the city, state, and everybody around you is programmed, and they're programming your children instead of you programming your children. See, once Rockefeller made public schools, then he took education out of the parents' hand, and that just changed everything. It's been a downward spiral in America ever since he did that. Now, people in other countries took the Constitution and the morals and principles and the beginning of the ideology that was in schools, when they had teachers would just do it. They was a teacher in the town would get together and say, this lady here or this dude here is a good-ass professor or whatever. We're going to pay him to teach our children. Or private people who had money would pay people who were smart to teach their children how to read, write, and do with figures and stuff like that. And I'm talking about under the European society, because basically that's where we mostly draw our manifestation from today. Their colonialism. I'm not saying don't break away from colonialism, but you got to understand where you're at in colonialism to even become self-sufficient, so that you can break away. You could get off the grid, but it's like you can't get off the grid unless you have enough currency in some form, even if it's just assets. Eventually it has to go into the position of land to actually get off the grid, or you're still on the grid. If you went to gold and you had your own land, you'd be off the grid. If you didn't bring the connection in. But if you have a Justice Cipher born, you're not off the grid. You have to roll part and parcel of this said government. So you'll have a straw man, and you'll have yourself. And you can't really do that for you in that level unless you already didn't come in with a Chamber of Commerce. Nomenclature. That's, if you already have that, you could get off the grid, but your nomenclature is always there. Your parents already gave them all the information. You could take your children off the nomenclature until they feel like they want to intermingle into society. But by the time they would have intermingled into society, you would have homeschooled them. They would already have a nice shield to protect them from the ideologies that won't enhance their growth and productivity. And that's a fact. If whatever is happening if it's not enhancing your productivity and growth, then don't do it. It's not good. It can't be good. How could it be good if it's detrimental to your well-being and your health? So if the public school system is so great, why are the children in such a dire strait? Like, they need help. Like, children don't have money, really, and things like those kind of resources. It's up to their parents. If the parents are already wrecked, and the children are in the wrecked-ass public school system that don't really teach them, it kind of wants to program the way Rockefeller wanted them to be workers. Because half the shit they teach you in school, it's like a regurgitation. It's not like they letting you grow and they figuring out what your talent is and what you're going to do for society and the planet, and we all going to live and be the real caretakers of the planet. That's not how they're moving. They're moving like, well, all right, let's not even put a label on how they're moving. Let's see what they did. Is the planet in an ecological disaster, or is it in great shape? So who is running it? Well, you who are running it, you're fucking up. I don't give a fuck who you are. But if you're doing it, if you're running it, you know that you're fucking... There's no way I know at this level and you don't know at that level. Because all of us act like the king with no clothes on. And we're all looking at them and saying, oh, y'all are the greatest entertainers, the greatest leaders, the greatest spokesmen. All y'all who got a lot of money, y'all really running this shit right and exact. But we all know that's a lie. Even rich people who aren't part of the system, but they just got rich off of, say, real estate, stocks, bonds, Bitcoin. They might have put in the Bitcoin way back when it was looking like Dodge. At one time, Bitcoin looked like Dodge when the gamers had it. I remember my nephew had a bunch of them. I even helped him buy some. I should have bought my damn self a bunch back then. But anyway, long story short, I'm saying is, there's a lot of people in America that got, or have, or will have, or already have a lot of Federal Reserve notes in digital currency and whatever the case may be. People don't really have $10 million in their hand. They have it in their bank and it's digitized and whatever, and it's put in the currency. And you know the whole Federal Reserve note going back to FDR in 1934. It's that. All right. So they're not the ones actually making this planet an ecological disaster. The ones who are doing that it's easy to find them. Go trace the money, right? If you trace the money, who's fucking up the planet? I would say on our end where we're at will be NASDAQ, Wall Street. All them guys who say in their public, it's them. They doing it. Every last one of them are doing it. And the people who ain't doing it, by now they probably rubbed them out, moved them out, took their shit from them, whatever. There might be a few rebels left, but most of them, if they was rebels, they succumb because the demons are stronger than the angels. So you say, oh wow. Because the lessons say the original people are the Asiatics, right? It says, who's the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man, maker, owner, cream and planet Earth, father civilization, and God of the universe, right? And so you cross-reference that and they say angels are Asiatics, right? Right? We know we can cross-reference that and get that. We can also cross-reference Asiatic and get Kabbalistic Tree of Life, Kabbalah, Malkuth, Kisa, all that, right? We can do that too. There's a lot of ways to cross-reference it. All right, so now we did that and we slaughtered them on that one. The next hit you would go to is Asiatic mind, body, man, mind, Still going back to all in all, right? It's going to go to all in all. And then universe, triple darkness, all that, right? It's going to get into the triple darkness. We just went through that. It's going to go right there. Because darkness is the limited space, under and back at the universe of time, space, and change is ever to be found. The substantial reality, fundamental truth. That's reality in and of itself, that we do not succumb to authority without them using force. Authority that wants to rule the people, there's only one way they could do it, and that's force. The other way is the people are educated as children, and they know what's good, bad, and indifferent, and they don't be trying to impose their self on other people. This is mine. You got to train them to say, no, you can't possess Mother Earth. She's not a possession. You live on her. If we just use regular schooling, we'll say, well, it's been 6 extinction level events on Earth, right? Did anything happen to Earth? Nope. Those animals that got turned extinct, new ones came in, right? So don't think for a moment that if your bitch ass get extinct, that this shit won't keep going. You act like it's gonna be gone if you gone. No, you're just gonna be gone. And then it'll renew itself. Your ass ain't here putting poison everywhere. The poison will eventually gather up on its own. The earth will move it. Eventually a volcano could take most of it. Right now, they could clean it up immediately. How I know this? You could gather up all of the garbage in the ocean because you have the technology and you have the ability. And put it in a little... you want to fly to Mars. You can't fly a bunch of rockets full of garbage into a volcano? Yes, the fuck you can. You're killing me. Could have got rid of half that shit there. It's like motherfuckers they act like they don't even know what their own power is. Peace, fam. I'm good, G.
Love that hat on you, man. Looking good, man.
That's peace, G. Word is bought. Yeah, so I'm like, why don't they do what they do? Because they go back to those 4 T's. I want you to go back to them 4 T's. And see, stop marking them lines up. You'll see. Because you're telling me that corporate America is not the colored man? All of those people that pretty much... I'm not talking about the stockholders and the Brookers and all them motherfuckers down there on the floor and shit. You seen that movie, Trading Places? See how them 2 brothers were? I'm talking about them motherfuckers. It was a bunch of... They just showed you, zeroed in on those 2. But the rest of them, is a bunch of those motherfuckers that's doing that like that. It's them. They don't give a fuck. You hear what he said? One of the... in another movie, not that one, but he was saying, oh, don't worry about it. By the time the ecological disaster gets out of hand... Wait. So, all right, so... Oh, man, I don't even know where I was at. But anyway, because I was talking and then somebody called in. Whatever, so we all on the same page. But divine understanding, born of law. You know how we do it, man. We set the record straight. It is what it is. And so we opening up it again, right, in a new form. Because it's still, I got like 2 minutes. I can still do something with this. And so we go right to the wisdom God, right? And so, like I said, them 4 T's, if you match up those 4 T's, you start going through it, you tell me. I'm not going to tell you. You're going to write in the comments. You're going to say whatever you're going to say. But you're going to talk like civilized people. Don't be acting all crazy if you're going to be writing shit down. Like, be real with it, man. No, the colonizers did this good, but they also did this bad, or whatever the fuck, however you see it. You put down how you really see it, but believe this. when you writing it down, then go cross-reference it, because it's only going to be you looking at it anyway. So now you don't got to play politics, this, that, You don't have to. It's your paper at home. It's homework, like, you know what I'm saying? You be writing the comments, but you be writing your comments on your paper. We don't even care about no public shit. And everybody's still in the field. Yeah, so other than that, you need to educate me more on that. Oh, so they say you need to educate more on that. Yes, the guy was saying that we could just keep going through that 120. You'll catch it all, because if you just keep traveling through the way, if you use the formula that we use, right? Because that's why you use the numbers, because it forces you to look at things based on the mathematical equation. Like, you could easily think, why did you go to wisdom in the Wisdom Myself Divine Cipher Master degree in the 1 to 10? And I was like, the colored man in the 1 to 10. And I came to North America by myself, right? And then why did Musa have a hard time civilizing the devil in civilization? And civilizing the devil in the year 2000 BC, right? Why did Musa actually? But we could just go right in that one, right? We could say, why did Musa? And then go to Musa, and then, man, listen, we could go so many different places. People could get mad when you start. The basic structure for Musa would be, you need to deal with the 10 Commandments and the first 5 books. So you would automatically be using it. If you use it that way, then the positive side, the higher self out of it would be, I'm going to use Leviticus and Deuteronomy. That's what I would use. I would use that, and you could use Genesis in that. If you're talking about a way of life, because Genesis would make you vegan, vegetarian, plant-based, like that. Leviticus and Deuteronomy, you would be eating animals, but you would eat them according to the old paleo type way, organic and this, that, and the third. No pesticides, no torturing the animals, none of that. They would be, well taken care of like pets, and then make you do like the Native Americans would do before they slaughter animals. I just use that as a reference. I'm sure all indigenous inhabitants have renowned feelings for animals and plants and the biome, microbiome of the planet Earth and all that shit. We didn't think like these motherfuckers think with their craziness, and they shit ain't all together, because their mind is on some different shit. See, when you think in superior and inferior, when you think that way, there's almost nothing you can do to make things equal. I was looking at some information the other day, and they kept saying about just women live in the feminist movement. That shit didn't come from out of the original people. That shit came out the Europeans and how they treated their women. And then when we was over here in America getting our women getting treated bad, we was getting treated bad right along with them. Well, we didn't do nothing to them. You didn't get to have any real difficulties as a group of people, man and woman, even with the devil coming all at us through slavery, through Jim Crow, all the way up until you get to the 60s, right around after Vietnam War. The last trick they put on us was this, you don't need a man. Motherfucker, y'all the motherfuckers who made it so that they couldn't get money from the government and keep their man. They had to pick between. What the fuck is that? But you go to the farmers, the white farmers in Iowa and all those places, they didn't do that to them. So, and even that couldn't tear us apart. They tried to. We would sneak back in later. But the thing that caught us is when they try to put on scale and say, yeah, all those men ain't doing us right. No. They should have been saying, no. All those motherfuckers in Wall Street and the Senate and the representatives and all them, who the fuck was writing the laws? Not these broke-ass motherfuckers over here. The people who's writing the laws went to Harvard and Yale and Princeton and Pace and Columbia and all them universities, Washington State, UW, all that. They went there. And all the way back, go back all the way back to 17 something. Tell me some broke motherfuckers writing Declaration of Independence, writing anything. They wasn't, half those motherfuckers couldn't write. And you know we wasn't writing shit because the whole group, man, woman, child, was like in the prisoner of war camps. They was like selling you off. The lady said, I just read that shit. She said, yeah, I can't remember exactly what she said. Wait, I'm going to show it to you. I had it. I didn't want to quote it because I couldn't quote it, but that shit was off the chain. I think I copied it because I was like, what? And, man, I don't know where I put it, but I could ad-lib it for you. She was saying in so many words that aren't I a woman? Because the European colonizers' women was in Congress saying something. This happened in she was in New York State, though. Upstate, like, Niagara Falls area. And so she addressed them, something like a Sojourner Truth type lady, right? But she had came out of what they call slavery. I call that shit prisoner of war camp. And she said, am I not a woman too? I had 13 children and I watched them take them and sell them off and all that. I can't go into all detail because it was a pretty big paragraph, but she could say it that many times because it really happened to her, so she didn't have to remember what they did. She knows what they did. And she said they did it, and she pointed them out. It was him. She knew who did it. They were still there. Like in power, like, I don't know if she was pointing them out or she said their names or whatever the case may be, but, oh, we know where that went, right? Nowhere. What happened? What? That was like 18 something. So then let's fast forward up to the 1960s. When we was a teen and we did I'm not gonna get on the bus team. That works with everything. It worked with the garbage men. They was getting ready to do it on Vietnam. And, they was making moves like that. And so that's where they were coming together, right? And so now look, watch, you'll see it. Look at all those major players. And I just know the major ones like Martin, Malcolm, Medgar. Those three right there alone, they killed them all. And then all the other ones that wasn't powerful like that, they let them live, but they was compromised. Jesse Jackson was compromised by the Jewish people that time when he said Jaime. He just said one little thing to you about y'all. It is Jaime Town. He ain't lying. Harry said that it is Jaime Town. And so people who deal with real estate think that y'all run it. People that think in banks think y'all run it. And people that deal with the Federal Reserve notes think you run a lot of shit. So it is what it is. But anyway, I don't think you should have been so mad at him for just saying one little thing. He still was pretty good at what he was doing. Then you had Jackson and all them. I'm just saying that's the leftover group from Martin. They wasn't really powerful like Martin. And then the leftover group from Malcolm, his ministers and all them, they wasn't powerful. And then when Elijah died, they wasn't doing nothing. Like when Noble Drew Ali died, they couldn't do nothing. Marcus, none of those. So they know that if they could kill your major player, y'all might be still holding the organization together or whatever, but you're not going to be able to do, like, I don't know, Akhenaten. I just go with name as old. So you can relate. But you telling me, okay, who do we got right now besides Farrakhan that could talk to those colonizers and check them without them being able to check them back? Like, I'll take your money or some shit like that. Because when, what's his name, Bill Cosby tried to check him, they checked his ass. And then all them other Everybody wasn't doing the crazy shit he was doing. He was doing good shit and crazy shit. They do the same shit. They come kill your whole town, then put it underwater, and then build a nice, beautiful town there and go, this is Central Park. So the Central Park is nice, but how they got it wasn't nice. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like a two-hand, it's some crazy shit. I'm just saying to say that's why I went to the wisdom God degree. That's why I went there. Not just because that's the Gregorian calendar's time frame. I don't give a fuck. That shit don't mean shit to me. I don't care about that. I'm just looking at this part of it for your benefit. Because when I don't tell you this part, then when I try to tell you the remedy, you don't fucking do it. Because you don't even think you're in the wrong position. You think your shit good. Oh, I'm good. No, you're not. Fucking starving. You individually might be good, but your nation is, man, we in some fucking trouble. God damn, you don't think we in trouble? Then you see the pandemic, the grocery stores closed, niggas almost died. If the liquor store, if they closed the liquor store and the grocery stores, it'll be a pandemic. That'll be a pandemic. Because you've seen a little bit of it. It wasn't they trying to close it. The people couldn't get the liquor and that's a shame. They just wanted liquor and Pop-Tarts and shit like that. They was worried about their snacks more than they was worried about fucking chicken. That shit is crazy as hell. Like, I can't get my snacks, not, I can't. So, that just show you how deep the addiction goes. Can't get my snacks. And my liquor. You see, they said, you better make 7-Eleven as a grocery store? No, they made that shit essential workers. And essential. Any food. All that garbage food was supposed to be food. No, that means people are addicted to it and they know it. And liquor, how liquor is essential?
They took advantage of the shit.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
So now that made everybody who is the survival people all said, see, we told you. You need to stock up. You need to have a backup unit. You have to do this because not that a natural disaster is your problem, is that the system itself could be testing shit and do shit. And even though they'll eventually release this fake-ass virus thing, we just saw it happen. Oh, you're going to die. That shit didn't add up right. The people that should have died didn't die. The people who died, y'all fucking killed them. You kept them in that hospital and you killed them. They said if you was old, if you had hypertension, you had diabetes, you had any precognizant ailment, if you didn't get the shot, you would die. And we know that story that shit don't work. That story ain't true. So from the opening, if you're the medical people, why are you telling the people them lies? I don't understand the finite print. And that's what the people are saying. And I'm saying, they said there's too many of you. I know why they doing it. Can I raise my hand in the classroom and tell? No. When you tell, they're going to be mad at you, so don't tell. But just go to the Georgia Guidestones. I think they finally tore those down or blew them up. Somebody attacked it, vandalized it, But it's too late because people took mad pictures of it. And it's everywhere. Everybody knows that they wrote on there, we would like to bring the earth down to 500 million. Okay, think about it. If they want to bring the earth back down they want to bring it down to 500 million. They said there's too many motherfucking people on earth. Well, I'm the blocks and it was 12 languages written in those ancient languages and modern languages. So you know none of us did it. You motherfuckers can't even speak English good. So how did you didn't put it up there. You didn't have the money to cut that kind of stone. The effort that it took to do that, the finance that it took to do that, and the amount of time that they did it in. No, G. That was somebody with colonizers' intentions and ability. I'm down.
Because what's name ain't come today? It's too late. Well, let's just go get the one we had time.
He didn't answer. Yeah, he didn't. All right, let me just finish this.
Oh, go. Here you go.
And so that didn't clarify anything. That just made it cloudier. But okay, wait, let me see, what time is it? We might be out of time. Yep, we out of time. We gonna finish this though. I'm out. Divine understanding, born of law. You know how we do it, ain't you? Know the free Asiatic son, man. 7. Peace.